I became a CPA in 1947. 48, yes, that's right. It was 1948. I was the only one out of 15 that took the exam in the state of Montana, and there were about 10,000 that took it nationwide. But I was the only one in Montana, and I had all kinds of publicity about that. That is a very interesting question because I was a junior in high school at South High School in Denver, and they had a counseling, and the CPA came and said, you know, if you become a CPA, you can make $160 a month. Now, I immediately changed over to bookkeeping and English and decided I was going to the University of Denver, and that is the honest truth. It was $160. My dad, after working for 20 or 30 years, was making $180, so that is the reason. I never worked a day in my life as an accountant. It was always a pleasure, it was fun. There's a man by the name of Gilbert Williams who had a practice here in Billings, Montana. And he was taking a course in University of Denver in Denver, and just to bring himself up to date, and he was going to come back and open an office in Billings. And this was in the summer, and we got acquainted, and he said, Lowell, if you want to consider coming up to, and if I have an opening, I will hire you. Well, I had the same opportunity in Denver as I had in here, and I wanted to get away from family and everything else. That if I made a success of things, I wanted to take credit, and if I failed, I would take full blame. When I came up here, then Gilbert was, he was CPA, and they were working over doing some auditing in Lewistown, so he put me in charge of the Billings office. And I was very successful in drawing clients, and so as it turned out, the business was so successful that he, instead of giving me the partnership that we had understood it was going to be, he was going to sell it to me. So I was flat A broke in December, and I quit my job. I thought, well, I had integrity and everything else, and I thought, well, I'm not going to stand for this. And one thing I'm very proud of, I would not take a single client of his for 12 months. I would be a year. I was absolutely honest. If we worked on a client here in Billings, I would never take them. Then at the end of that year, you cannot believe how many wonderful clients I had received. They were just waiting for this year to go by. That was from 1951 through into the 1980s. I started out as an individual with a desk in an insurance office. So with that, we moved over to a law firm. They gave us space for that. And then in 1953 or 54, we went over to the Midland Bank building. That was a brand new building. And we had Clyde Schillinger and Dick Gardner, who had worked for a national accounting firm, and he wanted to go on his own, so the three of us went over there together. So then Dick died, and then eventually I went with another fellow by the name of Clarence Cosner, and then I came back to the Midland Bank building and stayed there, and then got together with Ray Curtis and what's his name? Ray Curtis and another partner there. And anyway, the three of us were there for about, well, they're still there because we always said it had to go alphabetically. And Duffner, it was Duffner, Gardner, and Schellinger, Duffner, and Cosner. Oh, I switched that around some way. I was oldest. Duffner and Curtis and Dale Owen. It was Owen, Curtis, and yeah, Duffner, Owen, and Curtis. Yes, I had a knack for making money, and in the stock market, and as with part of this deal, I think we have to mention it. I was the accountant or treasurer for Continental Laboratories, and this was a well drilling outfit. My wife and I, we were going to get a washer and dryer, and Continental Laboratories didn't have enough money for their payroll. So my wife gave up her washer and dryer, and we loaned the money to Continental Lab. Well, after a while, in 1982, they went down to Denver, and EG&G was a national firm, bought us out, and they made us all $1 million. We became millionaires, and it was so cute. They said, we've now have 5 new millionaires in Montana, and that was it. So I took that $1 million and I ran it up to 10. To be a CPA, you have to have a special talent. And with that talent, you've got to use it with the community. It's financially, but time is so much more valuable than money. It's wonderful. I think CPAs are just super people. This stewardship is all part of being a CPA. If they just realize it, you have an opportunity to do good. And my family and myself, we have done good. Yeah, we're good stewards. Everything that you give, you get back 10 times over. The interference of the federal government. When I started in 46, we had one little book, Prentice Hall. Now you have rows and rows and rows and rows of books, which are all special laws that benefit individuals, and that's why our tax laws are so complicated. Everybody wants something special, and I think that if there's anything that could be done, and I hope that they can get together, Republicans, Democrats, get together and get this law straightened around. Get rid of all these special benefits for certain people. It's not doing anyone any good. Wonderful. And I'll tell you why. They have a knack and an understanding of communication that most men don't have. They can do it so much better job. And you know, here in Billings we have, well, we always call it Eastern Montana College, but so many of those girls there, they outnumber the men, and they do a wonderful job. Now, when we talk about women, in the University of Denver, when I was there, and this was in 1945, 46, Barbara Weary was the only woman, a CPA, around. She was never allowed to go out on an audit. She had to stay in the office. She was just not accepted in auditing. So I'm very proud of the women there, that the girls, they just do a beautiful job. Okay, first of all, there was my dad, who was a coal miner in southern Illinois. We moved to Denver because he could not pay his mortgage, was $8.67 a month. Okay, then there was a friend, my old cowboy friend, Les Early, who was the most, a handshake was all that he needed. Another was Sandy Stearns, who was this Continental Laboratories. And then there was Nick Cladis, who was my stockbroker, like I mentioned in my speech. We made dollars instead of pennies. And most of all was Tiz, my wife. She had the greatest influence. She taught me the art of giving. She was the librarian over at St. Pius School for 32 years, would never take a penny for doing that. I'm trying to be a good steward, and it's carried on into accounting with the CPA. That's why this award means so much to me. That is recognition that the people that are CPAs, they are all special people. Otherwise, they wouldn't be CPAs. They would not be CPAs. I may not have deserved the award, but believe me, I realize now I have earned it. What my whole life, what I have done in accounting, in charities, treating of people, I've earned it. And so with that, I have to say this. I'm a very devout practicing Catholic, and my thought there is, you can work hard, save your money, invest wisely, but you have to have the good Lord on your shoulder to do what I have been able to accomplish. And I'm very proud of what I have accomplished. And this reward to be included with all those wonderful men that have received this award before, I cannot believe all those. I look back at that and all my heroes when I was John Wallen and Tony Gerhardt, these men here in Billings, I'm worth one of them. I'm one of them now.